Welcome back to the chaotic, time-twisting world of the Umbrella Academy. Let's dive into the biggest moments and shocking twists of Season 3. The Umbrella siblings find themselves in an altered timeline. After their encounter with Reginald in 1963, he changed the timeline by adopting Ben along with 6 other children, whom he trained into a superhero team dubbed the Sparrow Academy. The two sets of siblings fight, and the Umbrella siblings are overpowered and flee, but inadvertently leave the time travel briefcase at the Academy. They take shelter at Hotel Obsidian. As they plan their next move, Vanya goes to make a deal with a Sparrow number 1, Marcus, who agrees to return the briefcase if the Umbrella Academy siblings leave. This meeting is observed by Ben and Sparrow number 3, Faye. Diego discovers he and Leela have a young son, Stan, and Leela leaves the boy with him. Elsewhere, an older man named Lester Pocket packs a suitcase and sets out for an unknown destination. When Marcus goes to get the briefcase, he discovers the kugelblitz, a time anomaly caused by the crossing timelines, and is disintegrated. After witnessing this act of power, Grace, who now works as the Sparrow's maid, begins worshipping the kugelblitz. When Luther goes out for a run, the Sparrows kidnap him, believing he and his siblings have Marcus. Leela attempts to leave the city but discovers that her briefcase no longer works. After learning that Sissy died in 1989, Vanya goes on a self-discovery journey, coming out as a transgender man and changing his name to Victor. The rest of the family accepts him with open arms. Allison discovers that her daughter, Claire, does not exist in this timeline, spiraling her into grief and rage. Five and Klaus go to find Klaus's birth mother and discover that all of their mothers died before they were born in this timeline, creating a grandfather paradox. Diego and Stan bond after they fight Sparrow number 4, Alfonso, and number 6, Jaime. Allison and Victor head to the handoff where Marcus was meant to give them the briefcase, but he does not show up. Unbeknownst to them, they are stalked by Lester. Luther bonds with Sloane the 5th Sparrow and, after being let go, goes back to meet with her and they have sex. Leela mimics Faye's powers and steals the briefcase. Further shockwaves from the growing kugelblitz cause more waves of objects, humans, and animals to disappear. 5 explains the grandfather paradox, and a lovesick Luther rejoins the Umbrella siblings. 5 and Leela reluctantly team up to solve the time paradox, realizing neither of their briefcases work. Allison and Victor negotiate with the Sparrows, with Allison falsely claiming they have Marcus and the Sparrows falsely claiming they have the briefcase. Allison's reckless behavior worries Victor. Klaus confronts Reginald about their mothers, whom Reginald confirms he did not kill, and the two bond. Klaus also learns that the Sparrows keep Reginald medicated to keep him docile, and he teaches Reginald how to hide the pills without swallowing them. The Sparrows discover the kugelblitz in the basement. The Sparrow and Umbrella siblings confront each other at Hotel Obsidian. The Umbrella siblings are almost defeated when Lester arrives and unleashes a burst of energy to save them, killing Alfonso and Jaime. Victor recognizes Lester to be Harlan Cooper, Sissy's son. Because Harlan could not control the powers he gained from Victor in 1963, he and his mother lived a difficult life, needing to move constantly. When Sissy died, he had a violent outburst of power. In the present, he reconnects with Victor. Allison uses her powers on Sloane and discovers she does not know where the briefcase is. Frustrated, she and Diego go pick a fight in a bar known for racist clientele. Luther and Victor return Sloane to the Sparrows as a peace offering, but Ben demands that they hand over Harlan as well. In the ruins of the Commission, 5 and Leela find its founder, an elderly future version of 5 with a missing arm and a cryptic tattoo. Before he dies, he warns 5 not to save the world. While playing in the hotel, Klaus and Stan find a luxury suite called the White Buffalo, and Stan accidentally kills Klaus with a spear gun. Harlan finds the files on the Umbrella Academy's dead mothers. He reveals to Victor that when Sissy died, his outburst killed their mothers and caused the grandfather paradox. Klaus awakens in the afterlife, where the person on the bike reveals that he has died over 50 times, but always returns to life because he is immortal. He reconnects with his dead mother, who tells him not to mourn her and to seek a sense of purpose. 5 and Leela return, but the briefcase is destroyed in the process. They reveal that the grandfather paradox has created a kugelblitz that will soon collapse all of existence. Diego finds out that Stan accidentally killed Klaus and comforts him. But as they move his body, Klaus returns to life. Leela and Diego restart their relationship. Desperate to escape her pain, Allison starts to use her powers to force herself on Luther, but then stops, Horrified, Luther flees to find Sloane. The rest of the family agrees to hand Harlan over to the Sparrows so they can all focus on the kugelblitz. Victor feels guilty about the trauma his powers have caused Harlan and enlists Allison to sneak Harlan out of the hotel. Klaus recognizes Five's future tattoo as belonging to a biker gang, the Mothers of Agony, who used to sell him drugs. Five goes to the gang's club and finds Pogo tattooing a biker. In 2014, Pogo is fired after a disagreement with Reginald over the Sparrows' training. He gives the Sparrows pills to sedate Reginald. In the present, Leela and Diego find a secret tunnel in the White Buffalo suite, which leads to an abandoned alternate version of the Hotel Obsidian, called Hotel Oblivion. Ben asks Luther to join the Sparrows. Pogo tells Five that the symbols in the tattoo connect to Project Oblivion, an obsession of Reginald's. Leela admits to Diego that Stan is not their son, but is her friend Trudy's child, and she is just babysitting. Harlan and Victor succeed in transferring Harlan's powers to Victor. Klaus tries to bond with his father and asks why the Reginald in the original timeline killed him repeatedly. To figure it out, Reginald experiments by electrocuting Klaus to death. A guardian attacks Leela and Diego in the alternate hotel. They escape in time to see Stan consumed by the kugelblitz. Harlan tells Allison that he killed the Umbrella's mothers, thinking that she already knew. Blaming him for Claire's erasure, Allison kills him and delivers his body to the Sparrows. In a flashback, Leela watches footage of the handler's betrayal and travels to 1989 to retrieve a hidden briefcase. She meets Trudy there and recruits Trudy's son, Stan, into her plan to trick Diego. In the present, Reginald repeatedly kills Klaus, training him to reanimate more quickly. He takes Klaus to a graveyard to confront his fears, and Klaus successfully exorcises the ghosts. Allison is remorseless about murdering Harlan and blames Victor for her losses. Leela, Sloane, Christopher, and Victor combine their powers to trap the kugelblitz in Christopher. Grace attacks them in return, and Five kills her. At the academy, the group celebrates saving the world and Luther proposes to Sloane, who accepts. Leela reveals to Diego that she is pregnant with their child. She pretended Stan was their son to test Diego's parenting abilities. Five assures a grieving Victor that saving Harlan would not have fixed their past failures. Christopher suddenly explodes, reopening the kugelblitz and forcing everyone to escape, but killing Faye. In 1918, Reginald Hargreeves begins construction of the Hotel Obsidian. During its grand opening, he sends several soldiers down the secret tunnel, and they are all slaughtered. In the present, the siblings take shelter at the hotel as Luther and Sloane announce their wedding. Reginald and Klaus arrive at the hotel, but none of the siblings are interested in what Reginald has to say. Luther asks Victor to be his best man and leaves a bitter Ben out of his bachelor party. Sloane calls Ben out for his sullen attitude, telling him to stop relying on being in charge. With Klaus coaching, Reginald delivers a moving speech at the wedding reception. Victor tries to reconcile with Allison, who refuses to forgive him. Klaus and a drunken Ben bond. The group minus Allison sits drunkenly in the courtyard as the kugelblitz consumes the city above them. Luther remarks that he finally has the family he has always dreamed of. Five drunkenly overhears Reginald making a deal with someone in the White Buffalo suite. A hungover Five tries to recall who was making a deal with Reginald the previous night. Allison apologizes to Luther and Victor, but both suspect she is manipulating them. Reginald calls a meeting and explains that he built the Hotel Obsidian around a portal to the universe's reset button, which he built as a mirror to the hotel called the Hotel Oblivion. The button requires 7 people to pass through the secret tunnel and ring 7 bells protected by a guardian. Allison, Leela, Klaus, and Ben agree to the plan, but Diego, Victor, Luther, Sloane, and Five outvote them and choose to stay. Reginald murders Luther and blames it on the guardian in order to motivate the group. Five remembers that Allison was the one with whom Reginald made a deal. The group flees through the tunnel and into the Hotel Oblivion as the kugelblitz consumes the hotel. Klaus tries to follow, but Reginald pushes him back, telling him he is too much of a liability. To ensure he goes to the afterlife, Klaus throws himself onto the horn of the White Buffalo and dies. At the Hotel Oblivion, Five warns Victor of Allison's actions. Reginald summons guardians to attack the others while they search for a 7-fold symbol. The group defeats the Guardians, but Five's arm is severed. In the afterlife, Luther convinces Klaus to return to the living, where he exposes Reginald's treachery. Allison admits to Victor that she did make a deal with Reginald, but had no idea that their brothers would die. Five spots a 7-star symbol on the lobby floor. Reginald forces all of them, except Allison, to step on the stars, activating the reset button. Realizing the process is killing them, Allison kills Reginald and hits the reset button. In the rebuilt universe, Allison reunites with Claire and Ray. Luther is alive and no longer an ape-man. Five's arm is back, Sloan is missing, and everyone has lost their powers. The group then goes their separate ways while a new version of Reginald and his resurrected wife Abigail observe the city, now under their control. Later, Ben rides a soul subway to an unknown destination. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more recaps, theories, and deep dives into the twisted world of the Umbrella Academy.